Hello folks, welcome back. And today's topic is really about the rise of cholesterol as we age. We go to see our doctor yearly and the cholesterol is going up, it's going up. And his concern is every time it goes up, the greater the pressure for the doctor to try and put you on a statin. So what I want to share with you is the biological reasons why cholesterol goes up as we age. And is it something we should be concerned about based upon the epidemiological and clinical studies? And are there other tests which we should be doing to really assess our true risk of cardiovascular disease independent of cholesterol? So first things first, let's look at the data which shows the rise of cholesterol as we age. And if we look at this graph, you can see that for men, there's a gradual increase of cholesterol across the ages of 40s and 50s. And in our 60s, it peaks and then it starts to decline. And in women, that shift in cholesterol rise actually peaks just past the menopause, a little bit later than men. And again, it starts to decrease a little bit into the 70s and 80s. But let's look at the reasons why cholesterol starts to rise. Well, one of the first reasons is that the LDL receptor, which is based in the liver, actually starts to decrease or becomes less functional as we age. And this is just part of the aging process. So when the receptor is working less efficiently, that means there's more of the LDL cholesterol floating around the bloodstream. Not necessarily causing heart disease, but just more of it floating around the bloodstream. The second reason why cholesterol can go up as we age is related to the thyroid function. Now, as we age, the thyroid can actually decrease in function as part of the aging process. And this is more common in women than in men. But what we find is that if your thyroid function is less suboptimal, it has a direct influence on your liver, which is processing and metabolizing cholesterol. Why is that? Because the thyroid hormone influences every cell in the body, including liver cells. So that means that when you're trying to process that cholesterol going around, we need optimal amounts of thyroid hormone to help with that processing, that metabolizing of cholesterol. So when you're looking at your TSH, for your thyroid panel, make sure it's below 2. Make sure your T3 hormone is within that optimal range, and just make sure you're not producing any thyroid antibodies. So that's just a reassuring evaluation to tick that thyroid functional to be optimal. And the final one is really related to women, which are going through menopause. And what's happening is that as women go through menopause, there's a drop in the estrogen levels. And when that happens, there's a spike in the lipid levels. And this is more specifically related to estrogen rather than progesterone. So this is common across all women, and this is something which is going to happen post-menopause. So the question is it an issue when we have higher levels of cholesterol as we age? Well, when we move into the elderly age group, and I'm talking about ages of 60, 65 onwards, what we do see in a couple of studies that is actually better to have higher cholesterol. So the one study here in the Rotterdam study has shown that those with the highest cholesterol have the greatest decrease in all-cause mortality, which is very interesting find. And this other study, based upon a Korean population of 13 million people, quite a large study, had showed that people with a total cholesterol greater than 200 mg per dl had the greatest decrease in all-cause mortality as well. So a couple of studies there. There are other studies out there showing similar effects. So epidemiology is giving us a clue that having higher cholesterol when we're older is generally a good thing. But I will say that if you're having high cholesterol and you want to be sure about the risk of cardiovascular disease, there's a couple of things you should be doing. And one is doing a coronary calcium scan test, which you do with your doctor to check with this special test, looking at the coronary arteries and looking at the buildup of calcium. That's really the definitive test for determining the presence of coronary artery disease. And the second thing to do is look at the metabolic, nutritional, circadian rhythm markers, which are indicative of other risk factors independent of cholesterol, which puts you at a greater risk of heart disease. So insulin, postprandial glucose, vitamin D, magnesium, potassium levels, looking at your HRV status, making sure your sleep is good. These are all critical elements to reducing your cardiovascular risk for heart disease. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have high cholesterol? Has your doctor warned you that your cholesterol is going too high? Put your comments down below and we can have a discussion there. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.